I got anime tattoos. Like, I'm fine with being a nerd and being a geek. Like, this is why we started this pod. We're all nerds. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with being a nerd. There is something wrong, though, with you full sprinting to another class, possibly hitting a girl's books out of her hand. Now she's going to think niggas that run around with animes are fucking weird. You're weird.
Fade Rother. He's psychotic.
そうだな。そうかもな。
We can sit and break down that movie a bunch of ways because those are my one or two of my favorite movies
Ever.
Damn. But the second one, when you see the duality of his father young, him relatively young, but being the Don,
Yeah.
and you see the similarities, and you see how they move and different stuff like that, and how his dad was in the old country before he came to America, how he was in America, and all that stuff. It's just it's so good.
Got to see young De Niro too, which was crazy.
It's so good. That one is really good. There's a lot of really good moments in that one.
Luca Brasi.
Yes.
Which, by the way, one of my favorite things about that film, mind you, we haven't even done the fucking intro yet. We've just
I know.
I was literally about to.
Bro, that's you because you said The Godfather 2. I'm like, bro, I can sit and talk about these movies all day.
There was the Godfather isn't even on the fucking topic list today at all. So real quick, it's your boy Fade. Goddamn. Welcome to the Land of Wave podcast. I am your host Fade. These are my two older brothers. Y'all have seen them on gaming videos. Well, y'all have heard them, I should say. That's James. That's Jermaine. And we just bringing some chill, relaxed vibes. As y'all can see, we're literally just sitting here chatting. I damn near forgot y'all was there. We're going to be coming at y'all every week with these, whether it's all three of us, whether it's two of us. We're going to try to get some anime reactions in for y'all too as well. Yeah, man. Welcome to the group. Come kick it. Back to the Godfather. Let's get into the topics, man. Got a couple today, nothing crazy. Let's kick it off with One Piece, bro. What the fuck? One Piece is back. I know that's probably what a lot of y'all came for, because that'll probably be on the title, anime, but One Piece is back. How do we feel about these first couple episodes back in?
Fire.
Fire.
It's
right. You talking about
picking. I thought when they showed the first two episodes, I thought I was tripping. I thought we missed something.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, how is everybody here already? Like we for sure was all split up. But then in this most recent one, they obviously showed like a little flashback how everything went down. But yeah, I mean, it's all about to go down.
Yeah.
Before they took the break, they literally said everything that happens overnight. Mm-hmm. And then the way that things settled the following morning reshaped everything, right?
Yeah.
Cool. It's about to happen. Right. Kizaru's now on the island.
Mm-hmm. Which is crazy.
I feel like he finna go to where he probably gonna have to move on the rankings. So I feel like he finna really he gonna have to. Rob Lucci still on some shit.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, my God, why didn't we put this nigga in a body bag?
Yeah.
Bro?
Yeah.
Or if you, I understand One Piece don't like really kill people like that. Cool. Tie this nigga up. Blindfold him. Something. You're a Yonko now, bro. Why are we just letting this nigga sit here? They making jokes and shit. Kaku talking his man. Fuck all that.
I
bro.
mean,
what are we doing?
Maybe because they know. For one, they got them outnumbered, and for two, if they really fought, even if they was all healthy, them two ain't gonna mess with none of them.
I think
Stussy now work for Vegapunk.
I think Lucci can fight Zoro. I think he can hold his own. I think Zoro wins that though.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if they were to right now
Try some shit? Oh, no.
Everybody was healthy,
They getting
right? If Kaku's not hurt, blah blah blah, and they tried to go against him.
You're talking about Kaku. It's 2025. This nigga's talking about Kaku.
I'm just saying, he's there.
Usopp is handling my light work. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm just saying. So he's still on some shit.
Hey,
And the craziest thing though. Did you see the next island?
I thought that's what I was about to say. That was what I was going to say when we got done just talking about the generalness of everything. That's the most important piece of information in these first 2 episodes. Why are these niggas going to Elbaph?
I don't know, but you know what we about to figure out though? Why the fuck that big ass straw hat is in Marijois?
That's a smart man. That nigga right there sitting to my right, that's a smart individual.
You don't remember that?
You don't remember that?
What?
Mind you, this nigga put us on the One Piece.
Well, yeah,
this is the One
hold
Piece
on.
watcher originally in the
Hold on.
group.
When they were showing,
I don't
all
remember what point in the story they showed it, but yeah.
It was. Was it at the? It had to be some way in.
It was in the middle.
Somewhere in Egghead, because that's when they first started to show Emu for real.
No. It was way before Egghead.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh,
But regardless, yeah, it was a scene where they were showing all the stuff, and there was a giant straw hat. And it makes sense that they go into the giant island, right? Elbaph, that's where all the giants are. That's what I'm saying, brother.
Episode 885.
Oh, that's way.
Yeah.
So that's not even Wano yet. That's whole cake still.
Maybe. Yeah.
Wano don't start till like 9:20 something.
885 is when you see the giant straw hat. Your fucking guess on why there's a giant straw hat is as good as mine.
I'm just assuming it got to be something to do with Elbaph. Has to be.
oh, it does.
Has to be.
Oh, it do.
Or can Luffy turn into a giant?
I mean,
Using the cartoonish powers.
He did.
He did. He already did that.
Okay, cool. So what if the other nigga that had it before him just stayed in the giant form?
I don't know. I think it
Or
probably,
maybe Joy Boy was a giant.
it's probably gonna have to do with something more connected to Shanks than Luffy, because Shanks had the actual original hat.
No, I don't agree.
Okay.
What?
I don't agree. I think it was Joy Boy's hat, and Joy Boy was probably a giant. That's where I'm going with it.
I don't know.
That big ass hat. What the fuck is Shanks linked to that hat for? Just because he had a straw hat?
Who else has that straw hat? And he got the 2 giants riding for him too. We saw what they did to Punk shit.
Okay, but this is the issue that we have with Shanks. I don't know nothing about this nigga, man. So I don't
I
know.
don't know, bro.
I don't know. That was one of the things I said in my reaction. It's fucking episode 1,000 or 1,123 and 1,124.
1125 is the next one.
And we don't know nothing about this nigga, man. I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah, but yeah, the fact that the next island is gonna be Elbaph is
Elbaph.
crazy.
As soon as they said that, I'm like, let's get this over with. However, we got to get off this island. Hey, man.
Nigga.
Hey, and see, this is one of, we've said this before with other situations, other arcs, battles. Do we really expect everybody to make it off this island?
So here's the thing. If we're going from a logical, logistical, observational standpoint, no.
There's no way.
No.
There's no way.
But if we're going off of
But
One
it's
Piece's
One Piece.
logic, yes, everybody's about to make it off.
They don't.
If
they
this
just don't die.
was any other anime, no. Even an anime like My Hero where they still don't kill niggas like that. My Hero was realistic enough to where if it was a situation like this, everybody's not getting out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kizaru is leaving with something.
Oh, yeah.
I promise. Big
yeah.
business Barcelino.
I mean, I'm not even thinking about him.
You think about the Elder?
I'm
other
thinking
one,
of Saint
huh?
Saturn.
These niggas are named after planets. I don't know what's going on, man.
Bro, you see what they did to that other island. You see what Emu did to that other
That's
island.
Emu, though. We don't know if these niggas move.
No, well, I mean, there's obviously I can't think of exactly what they said, but it's something on the island that the lab produces that they
Mother
need.
flame.
Yeah,
Which they ain't never talked about that
never
before.
said nothing like that.
And the reaction that I had when they said that, I was like, are we supposed to know about that?
Said what in the Fire Force?
Unless
Right. That's crazy.
What's going on?
That's crazy.
unless the only thing that I can think of is if it's like the stuff that King and his people used, that flame. But even then, like I don't.
They ain't
just on a
never,
bigger
they ain't
scale.
never
I
mentioned.
was about to say,
before.
but even then, I don't even think they called it that.
No.
So like, I don't know. But
That's I also wanted to know, was it Emu or was it the use of the mother flame that can do that? Because if Emu can do that, my nigga, I don't know how we getting out of this. To be honest, it could be 5 more years.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I guess
These niggas can't do nothing like that. They put a hole in the planet. Like that shit's shot.
I guess
I was gonna say, I'm worried about this nigga because of what they did to what's damn the king.
Vivi's dad.
Yeah, Vivi's dad.
Cobra.
Oh my god, these niggas transform. So what's going on?
Oh yeah, they probably all got some mythical type zones.
Have to.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about. Obviously, Kizaru's gonna put in work. I think he's gonna be a problem. Cypher Pole, they gonna be a problem
for the other niggas.
But the fact that Saint Saturn is there, and it's already like they already want to kill them niggas, the Straw Hats. Yeah. But now y'all know stuff. Now
they already want to get him up out of there.
Yeah. Now Vegapunk know stuff.
And Vegapunk is trying to get with them.
We ain't gonna let y'all leave. Like we ain't just gonna let y'all leave.
And how much confidence do they have in Saturn to only send him? Now you got the
gotta be the most.
Now you got the most dangerous, because like you said, in your mind, the Straw Hats are the most dangerous group, not because they're the strongest, but because they have Luffy and he was Joy Boy the entire time. Yeah. Right. So them knowing that, they always had a gun pointed at Luffy, but now this nigga knows some shit.
And he got
Vegapunk
exactly
on his
what
side
I'm
that
saying.
knows some shit.
Exactly what I'm saying.
So but that's what I'm saying. All of that being the case, you only send one Elder and one Admiral. How strong is this nigga Saturn?
Gotta be one of the strongest.
If you only send it
because
one,
that's
either that or it's plot. One of the two.
That's not even just taking care of like one issue. That's all your issues. That's Joy Boy
gone.
Void
gone
immediately.
Vegapunk
gone. Done.
Securing the Mother Flame.
Everything.
That's so much.
The flock of birds in one stone.
That's so much that you can go and sure up and like you don't really gotta worry about nothing no more. Nico Robin too, right?
You could
Nico Robin too.
You could end the story.
Yeah, like
you send 2 or 3 of them.
Exactly.
Honestly, I'm saying I either would have sent one more Elder or I would have sent at least 2-3 Admirals. That's like you're making perfect sense. These niggas could end the story right now.
You could end the
I
show.
would have just sent everybody.
That is plot. Now that you say that's plot.
That's plot.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, you're a trip.
Yeah,
I would have told that. What's his name? Not Aokiji. Fucking Magma Man.
Akainu.
Yeah.
I would have sent that nigga. I would have hit him on the little yaga. I would have hit him on that drum. I would have been like, yo, you, what's his name? Fujitora, all y'all niggas.
Yeah.
Slide to Egghead right now. We can literally take care of all of our issues.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess they got that much confidence, and I mean, they said what they had 30,000 troops, 100 ships.
That's what I said.
An admiral and an elder, that's a lot.
It is unprecedented the way that they're
That shit would have scared me pre-red line. If they sent that force at them pre-red line, I would have been like, okay.
I'm waiting on what is it? Cypher Poles. What is it? 0?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm waiting for them to become one of the Straw Hats for real, because he already came out the gate talking about some worst case scenario. He'll get them up out of there too. You got Rob Lucci moving around, free reign.
You think they'll become Straw Hats?
I do. Wow. I do. Once they show their hand and it's like, hey, it's time to just put a hole in the island. After they get whatever the Mother Flame is, if they get their hands on that, whatever.
Yeah, they'll have he literally said, I have no problem. He said, think of them no more as insects.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
There's no way Lucci could hear that and be like, it's just business.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So I'm waiting for them to show their hand and for them to be like, okay, all right.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if Lucci will align with them for real.
I think he'll be more of like an Aokiji type, like try to just do shit his own way.
Yeah, because even like the first thought that we get from him post everything that happened is he's evaluating the situation of how he can still get them up out of here.
Which I don't know why. You literally just.
It's just that mentality.
Yeah.
He has that killer mentality. So he looking like, okay, a couple of them injured. Okay, cool.
And if you
I
want
could
to think
get
about it,
him.
too, not much of a story thing, but that's cool because like it's his primal instinct.
Yeah.
And that's his
Yeah.
devil fruit. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
and like even when he first engaged in Luffy, you knew it. We knew it. He couldn't fuck with Luffy. He couldn't fuck with Luffy back then when he was stronger than Luffy, realistically.
Realistically.
And couldn't fuck with him. Now you know Luffy done leveled up, and you leveled up too. Cool, but
Nigga,
this nigga, come on, bro.
When they started fighting, we all called each other. We were like, "Bro, he's not winning that. Bro.
Yeah,
this
but
fight's
it's-
gonna be like 2 episodes."
But it's the not even thinking.
Yeah.
It's just like, cool. I'm sitting here to do a job. I don't give a fuck how strong you are, nigga. You gonna have to see me.
On site.
he got seen.
Oh,
He saw that nigga for sure.
The scene where bro, it just shows you how far Luffy came. But when they first interacted, and he was sitting there and like smiled or whatever, and the second it took for his face to go from a smile to like a oh shit, Luffy was already there in front of his face about to punch this nigga. I was like, oh yeah,
That whole fight was clean.
It was more,
yeah.
but we said it was more of Luffy toying with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was
Yes.
playing around.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Which is crazy that he can do that shit now. He's in the position now to where he can be the one that feels the opponent out
Yeah.
on some shit.
Yeah.
And then like, all right.
Because he
Just
didn't
coming
like
in
he
as
didn't
and as the underdog,
Right.
as
he,
like
he
all
had
of his other fights.
he had no business to go into Gear 5. He could have beat him in Gear 4.
he only went into it because he asked him to.
Exactly. And so the fact that he went into Gear 5, tuned him up a little bit, got out of Gear 5, was
Tuned it
perfectly fine, and left. Like that just shows you his level is just
So
It's just different.
on the One Piece wave, James, can you check the recording just to make sure it is?
Yeah.
All you gotta do is look at the bottom right corner.
Bottom right.
Is it recording?
Still going.
All right, cool. Speaking of the One Piece wave, I just got a couple questions before we move on.
All right.
Let's say a situation pops in to where Kizaru squares in with Luffy, and like he runs into Luffy, or a situation where they want to get off the island, Luffy goes and meets that nigga, get buys them time, whatever. What are we thinking? Is he at a point now to where we can confidently say him going against Kizaru? We confidently see him winning that. No recharge.
Winning, nah. But I think it'll be like a. I think it'll be like on some. They're you know how they got to leave the island. They got to use whatever he's gonna buy them time. He'll fly up to use his light shit and fly up to wherever it is, and it'll be a quick spat.
I think Kizaru. I don't know if he'll have that interaction with Luffy. But he's definitely. I think it's either going to be Luffy or Zoro. He's going to fight head up
For sure.
Really?
Yes. That was going to be my
100%.
next question.
Really?
100%. I think they like what you were saying about how they tried to like overplay him and Sentamaru,
bro.
Flash.
Why, bro?
It's
he's about to. The episode's gonna
family
start.
thing.
He's gonna.
It's a family thing.
Right, the episode
So
gonna
they probably
start.
gonna have a little
I
flashback
was
of them
thinking.
coming up,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna be done. But like,
He
come
gonna
on, bro.
kick that nigga one time.
Yeah, don't do that.
I watched that nigga's.
He was already injured.
I watched that nigga's
Stop.
introductory scene to the show. He was kicking niggas into trees the size of fucking buildings
Yeah.
and city. The trees were the sizes of mountains. He
Yeah.
was cutting them hoes in half. Sentamaru,
Yeah, no.
so, like you said, injured. He's always about to body that nigga. I don't know why they try to do that.
They'll have that moment. But I do think
Forgot about Mr. Saturn.
I do.
Both
That's-
of us
but that's
yeah,
why
you're
I'm
right. You're right.
asking
Yeah,
the
yeah.
But see,
Zoro.
that's
Yeah,
why I think though maybe maybe him and Luffy, Saint Saturn and Luffy will have a little clash.
Zoro.
But I think Zoro's
Wanted
probably
him at
going to
that
be the
full.
one to fight.
So I was gonna say
Kizaru.
and that was literally my next question.
Yeah.
Can Zoro take on Kizaru if Luffy has to go deal with Saturn? Because here's the thing, if it was just Kizaru that got sent here, the conversation's different.
Yeah.
But there's a
100%.
big,
Yes.
but there's a
100%.
bigger
Yes.
dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
There's
and
a bigger dog that we don't know
What the fuck is going on?
really what he can do.
No, at all in the slightest.
Because, I mean, even like you talk about the shit that they had with Cobra, they just turned in, I'm not going to try to downplay it, but they turned into big blobs and just chased him.
Right. That's why I said we're assuming it's some mythical zone.
And I was about to say, and realistically, Emu was the one that killed him. It wasn't even like,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Sabo shot a couple stuff at them, but that was it. Like, they didn't do anything. So we still don't know.
Shout out to the Flame Emperor for
Yeah,
getting
like
it off.
we still don't know what he's capable of. But yeah, as far as
Coming
what that
off
looks
of-
like,
I was about to
no
say,
clue.
coming off of his fight with King, can he take on Kizaru now?
Yeah, I think so. For sure.
I think so.
Can he beat him?
I was about to say, can he win though? I see what you were talking about with Saturn. I think Zoro has gotten to the point now, coming off of his fight with King, because the biggest thing that impressed me about Zoro's fight with King, Zoro has always had fight IQ.
Yeah.
But the way he deduced against King and the way he moved mentally against King, that was the biggest thing for me. Obviously, the way he handled the fucking plasma vortex that this nigga shot from the clouds.
Bro.
That's a whole nother thing. But Zoro been like that.
Fucking dragons.
Zoro, right.
Yeah,
Zoro,
crazy.
Zoro's gonna rise to the occasion always.
Yeah,
But mentally, he became a different nigga for me in that fight against King.
After this nigga seen death,
Right.
bro, I ain't worried about nobody.
So
that's
do
lined up
I think
against
he
Zoro.
can sit there and run that one? Yes, but
sure.
I think it'll be a situation where he'll box Kizaru until we have to go, and then he'll leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I still think Kizaru can. I think Kizaru wins that fight still.
Against Zoro?
Currently, yeah.
I don't know.
I do, bro. Because I still think Kizaru's the third strongest admiral. I think it's Akainu, Aokiji, and Kizaru. Fujitora and them niggas aren't as strong as them three.
I'm excited to see Kizaru because we didn't really get enough from him to where it was like he was pressed to where he had to really turn it up and get into that gear for real. You know what I mean?
That's why I said
We've never seen them impressed.
I
We've
think
never seen him
after
pressed.
after this interaction, we're gonna see him move up on the list, in my opinion.
What if?
I feel that.
Yeah,
I
perfectly
feel
fine.
that.
I think so.
If Luffy runs into Kizaru first, and it is if it's a brief fight or not, if it requires Gear 5, do we still think Zoro will be able to box with this nigga?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think Luffy needs Gear 5 to fight Kizaru.
Huh?
I don't think he needs Gear 5 to fight him.
I don't know if I agree with that.
To fight him. To win,
Oh, okay,
he
okay.
needs Gear 5.
Okay, cool.
To fight him, though?
No.
He can fight him in Gear 4.
Gear 4.
I always think Snake Man is more dangerous than Gear 4.
Fire.
I think that's the more dangerous one,
Yeah.
which is why he pulls it out last.
Yeah.
Before he goes into Gear 5.
If they were fighting, if it was just a sense of like, okay, I'm just clashing for a second or whatever, he could fight him in Gear 4. Now, obviously, Gear 5 he would need if they were like, if Kizaru started really amping it, because I feel like what we're gonna see with Kizaru, we already know the speed is crazy. I mean, he is light itself, but I think we really gonna see his damage potential that he has and the scale that he can.
Because whether
do
he
the
fights
damage
Luffy
on.
or Zoro, both them niggas can take hella damage.
Exactly. I think you're gonna see that in this early interaction. But I mean, we saw it with the Sea Beast how he just one tapped that shit. It wasn't even nothing.
I want to let you go, but I do want to say quickly, this is where I would love for the Straw Hats and Luffy to have more of a pirate mindset, more than just a group of niggas trying to do some shit. Because if this was Shanks, or if this was Kaido, or if this was Blackbeard, if this was one of their crews, they're looking at this situation as, because obviously they haven't seen Kizaru yet, but when they know it's Kizaru there, with everything that's going on, with how close they are to the One Piece now, close in the show sense, Shanks and any other top dog pirate would look at this situation, shit, even Law or Kid, they would look at this as, we low-key need to kill Kizaru right
Kill
now.
or be killed. Yeah, kill him.
We kill him, we get a strong ass nigga out the way. We low-key need to kill this nigga right now. Yeah. Luffy's not gonna think about it like that.
Yeah.
And that is his biggest flaw for me.
For that.
That I feel like that shoots.
Yeah, but I mean that's
himself in the foot like that.
But that just goes hand in hand with what you said. He's just a different pirate.
Yeah.
He doesn't look at things the way that those other niggas do.
Because any of them niggas would try to get him the fuck up out of there right now.
He don't look at it how them niggas do.
Yeah.
It is different, but yeah, Luffy could definitely hang with Kizaru for sure. Obviously, I think Gear 5. If he is in Gear 5, he could beat Kizaru, in my opinion.
What if we're all wrong and the real matchup is Sanji and Kizaru because they kick, and we've been underestimating Sanji this whole time?
Sanji and Kizaru is different. I don't know how long Sanji can hold up Kizaru. I don't know. He do that Yadomir shit. It might be a rap. I don't know. Kizaru, yeah.
The sacred jewel.
Sanji obviously is fire. I just think he would be outdamaged, outspeed,
outgunned, outmanned, outgunned.
It matters. Well, I mean, we ain't seen it.
Beating Queen to me. Here's the thing about Sanji beating Queen. It's like, was it cool? Yeah. Was it a big moment for him, especially story wise? Yeah. Even power wise, it really was. But in the grand scheme of things, Queen, bro. It's a lot of niggas that's packing Queen.
But I mean, at the same time, though, if you look at the ranks of the fights that happen, obviously Luffy, Kaido, right? That's here.
Mm-hmm.
Zoro Queen or Zoro King, close. Law, I almost said Ace. Law, Kid, and
in terms of the scale?
Yeah, in terms of the scale, the impact.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
And I only say that because Big Mom was a Yonko, but it's a little bit different the way that it seemed in the show. It seemed like King was on like a little bit.
My nigga, they made it seem like King could fuck her over.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. That's what I'm saying. It looked like it was on a bigger scale.
When the Big Mom pirates were coming into Wano, that nigga Kaido sent King by himself.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, go deal with that, bro."
Yeah, himself.
And he went and to not just her, but them other niggas who were strong too.
Yeah.
And said, "Get the fuck on somewhere."
Yeah. So
and he kicked him down the shit.
I would put Big Mom and Law and Kid close just because she's a Yonko.
I would say level because I don't think Zoro could beat Big Mom by himself.
No, but I mean we've already said this. I don't think any of them would have been able to beat Big Mom by themselves.
Okay.
We're not allowed to get that. Okay. But then so you have those three to me are in a similar sort of tier. Sanji and Queen. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
You
feel me? Yeah. It's like it was cool. We seen the in-free whatever John Boy shit. That shit was cool because he pieced that nigga up. But
I think that was plot too. It was like a science on science type deal.
Yeah,
he was in his head
the
talking
real
about
cyborg.
Yeah, he was talking about
his dad
and all this other shit.
It was different. Like the fight with Zoro and King was more menacing. He was more like
baby Kaido. He was baby Kaido.
Like all those other fights. I mean, say even Big Mom. Big Mom she wasn't playing with them niggas. Like she wasn't playing with them. Kaido was, even though he was drunk, laughing, whatever. Fuck, Kaido wasn't playing with that nigga for real. Like,
but it's common knowledge, and if you don't think this way, you're tripping. If Kaido didn't have to hold up that island, One Piece ends in Wano.
Yeah,
unfortunately. I mean, shit. If Kaido was serious about killing him, he would have killed him the first time they fought, and he already twixt him up.
He one tapped him.
Yeah, twixt him up.
Yes. No
good.
Yeah. That's such a weird situation because we're gonna go a couple more arcs before I see somebody and be like, okay, that person can fuck with Kaido.
I mean, he's strongest nigga in the show for a reason.
We might. Well, relax. We might.
No nigga stronger than him.
Shanks is probably stronger than Kaido. You gotta understand.
I'll give you the probably, but we don't know that yet.
Cool. I watched this nigga do Divine Departure on a whim. Like that nigga. like, come on, bro. He on some other shit, bro. Like even. Like obviously everything we've seen from Kaido was menacing, but the sheer ability of Shanks's observation hockey and how nice it really was, nigga.
Yeah.
Nigga.
Yeah.
You
And
see why they waited this long to introduce this nigga to the show.
Come on, bro.
Because
Nobody
sees like
niggas had that. The power level had to rise.
It had to, yeah.
For niggas to do
yeah,
something.
Yeah.
And then it makes you think how stronger like Ben Beckman and them niggas, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
them niggas are probably
if we look at like all these elite crews, I mean, even if we just look at the Straw Hats, obviously Luffy is a couple tiers above Zoro, but they're comparable in a sense. King,
on my mama, Zoro could fight Luffy and not get walked.
King is a little bit comparable to Kaido type of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're in some sort of vicinity. If you just take that logic and apply it to them, if Shanks is on that level, they gotta be comparable to him.
Ben Beckman is probably bro. Ben Beckman, now granted, they had these niggas by surprise and it was earlier in the show, but Ben Beckman was nice enough to freeze this nigga Kizaru.
Yeah.
Everybody else, Kizaru was fine with getting down with.
They gotta be comparable.
Marco was the first commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. Kizaru still went and clashed with him. He got pushed back, but he still went and clashed with him. That nigga seen Ben Beckman. He said no. He said, "Oh no,
yeah.
I'm cool."
Yeah. So yeah, they have to be somewhere.
The niggas at the highest bounty total.
In his vicinity.
They got the highest bounty total for.
They got to be somewhere in his vicinity to be on that level, I think.
Yeah. You come into the show hearing that they got the highest with no devil fruits, you like, what is going on? What's going on?
Fucking crazy.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Man.
And
the fact that might be a plot point too at the end of this deal, and we can talk about that too. Not having a devil fruit.
You think that'll be a plot point at the end? Why?
Getting the laugh tail and all that.
You think? Wait. So are you saying you want like?
I think that was strategic. I think that was like necessary. And that nigga's just. You saw his observation hockey. he just 10 steps ahead. It's chess, nigga, not checkers, and so.
Yeah, he's just a dangerous nigga.
Yeah, his observation hockey was so cracked. I thought what I saw was
real.
And then I was confused when it
viewers
went back and what happened.
Yeah.
I had to rewatch it. I'm like,
I watched it late. I said, damn,
this nigga Shanks
drunk.
I thought I was tripping. I'm like, did that not just happen? Nope. And it didn't even click for me until I rewatched it. And I'm like, oh, he saw this happen.
It didn't click to me until we got on FaceTime the next day. I said,
yeah.
What?
And I mean, even Ben Beckman even said, he's like, he must have saw an ill-fated future.
Yep.
Which I said it before. That's the hardest part of the scene. He flew past that nigga and he just lit his cigarette.
I said, oh, shit.
I said, so this nigga going out and using divine departure is just regular for you niggas.
Didn't phase
cool.
you.
So everybody else in the show's fucked? Cool.
Man.
Like, what? Yeah, I don't know. Y'all, do y'all want to stay on the anime topic, or do y'all want to switch? Y'all want to pivot? Actually, we'll wait because there's more anime stuff than this. So we'll make a little bit of a switch. Jermaine wanted to talk about this last time about anime misconceptions.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because this is the first episode of the pod, I think this is a good conversation to have. Like, what are just in general, I guess, what comes to your mind when you think of anime misconceptions for outside people looking in? Because how many times have we been out and like niggas look at us as like, however you want to look at us, cool people or whatever the fuck, and then we say we watch anime and they're like, the fuck you mean you
I think there's
anime?
a certain look that you have that comes to mind. There's a certain perception as to what an anime watcher looks like.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you don't know. So if you're a fan of storytelling, if you're a fan of good writing, it's not even just the fight scene's cool, power scaling cool, but it's the shit that backs that. It's how do we get here to be able to to even talk about that. That's what makes a good anime, in my opinion. That's what really drew me in, and why I'm a fan to this day, man. It's like you don't get this in regular TV. Not American TV shows. You know what I mean?
No,
It's just
not both, especially
not both.
to that scale.
Not both.
Yeah, especially to that scale. And you just talking about just shonen anime.
Right.
Like I've said this before. One of the best stories in anime that I've seen, especially recently, Vinland Saga.
It's not a
And
shonen anime.
Vinland Saga is not a shonen anime.
I still haven't seen it.
And
You have to
the
watch it.
storytelling is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And especially from like the first season to the second season. Because most people, the first season has action in it and stuff. They're Vikings and shit. But the second season, completely different. Completely different. And people see that as like a negative because it's not a whole lot of, you know, crazy fightiness in the first one. But it's like, but see, you ain't tapped into that story.
Right. It's okay. Like, and that's the thing. And we had that conversation with Greg. Niggas have to be okay with the fact that you're a casual. Just let that be what it is.
Yeah.
For
There needs to be though. There needs to be
for
casual
the,
fans.
for the for
There
the
needs to
life for the life of me, I don't know who was the first person to make being a casual a negative connotation, but it just
be.
is
Yeah,
now.
it needs
Yeah.
to be. It
And
needs to
so those are your casuals that the show is say 10 episodes in and there hasn't been like a crazy fight or whatever the fuck the case may be, and people will be quick to call it ass. Or on the flip of that, you got all these people running around talking about Solo Leveling is great or good, but it's not this because there's no story. How the fuck did you watch those 23 episodes or whatever of Solo Leveling and then
still
say
sad.
there's no story? My nigga, cool, because we don't know it.
Yeah.
They've dropped, like, are you watching or are you just watching these niggas
Yeah.
box every episode? In your defense, Mr. Casual, yes, they box every episode. Cool. But there's also some little shit dropped in there
Bro.
every episode.
Bro.
Are you fucking paying attention or no?
And a lot of motherfuckers get on. They just need things to consume. So if you're just okay, somebody said this was good. Let me flip to this.
Yeah.
You're not looking for the story.
Right.
Yeah.
You need something to be laid out and just put out plainly for you, and for it to be like, this is what it is.
Started on that shit.
Man.
How in modern day, and this is bigger with movies now too, with the shit with the
Oh yeah, for sure.
niggas for whatever reason, people have this mindset of if the entire plot isn't thrust in my face in the first 5 minutes, this shit weak. How the fuck does that make sense? In what way? Yeah. Game of Thrones, you don't know what the fuck is going on. At the end of Game of Thrones, we always preface this, you can take the last 2 seasons out if you want to. Being people that have finished Game of Thrones, you watched the first 4 episodes. Do you know anything about Game of Thrones?
No.
No, you don't.
No.
You could get all the way to the end of season 1. Do you know anything about Game of
That's
Thrones?
exactly what I was about to
Yeah.
No.
Exactly what I
No,
was
you
about to say.
don't.
Yeah.
You can say you watched it, but you don't know what the fuck is going on at all.
Yeah.
But everybody is in agreement that globally, worldwide, that's the greatest show of all time. The plot isn't given to you in the first 5 minutes though. And I had this discussion before with Mom, so I asked y'all, do you think if Game of Thrones was dropped now, it would be as big as it was? With how people's mindset are and short attention spans and stuff like that? I don't think it would be appreciated the same.
I wouldn't say that it wouldn't. I think that it would need something like the social media, the TikToks, the whatever, the YouTube to drop and be like, okay, this is what it is, and for them to be able to give their own breakdowns and for them to put their own people on, and you know.
But see, to me though, I think that would take away from it, because I think that's the journey of watching anything.
Yeah,
is that, and so I feel like if people are just accessible to that, it takes away from it.
I feel that.
And I feel like that show was, when it first came out, it was just a part of like I guess the culmination of shows like that, like The Wire or like Sopranos,
those
like
long shows.
those type of shows that
HBO
like
Max.
were real content.
What they be saying? It's not TV. It's HBO Max.
Yeah, real content heavy sort of shows that like had, you know, the action and all this stuff, but like had like real. I'm not saying that no shows today has that level of attention to detail and all that stuff, but as far as the masses, no.
Rare.
And especially like you said, people just need something to consume. How much shit is on Netflix that's bullshit?
Bullshit.
But every once in a while, you'll find something
Some
that's
heat.
like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
And But it was like, for the most part, though, shows, even if they have multiple seasons now, like, there's really no substance really to them. And that is a part of it, because stuff is consumed differently.
I think it would do good just because all-time great is all-time great. If it's an all-time great, it transcends time, no matter what it is, sports, movie, like.
But it wouldn't. I don't think it would be as potent as it.
Hell no.
Yeah, I would say that. To your point, yes, that's true, but I think it would take time.
Yeah,
I think it would just not like the watch parties, not like how it was, how people were just enthralled in the story immediately.
Bro, there's literally reactions on YouTube of this bar in Ireland that every week they watch that bitch in a bar with multiple TVs.
It was
insane.
different then.
That will never happen again. I'll never see no shit like that again.
It was different
Ever,
then,
bro.
And even like
and
a
that
show
was back when people loved each other more. And
even
that's a whole different conversation.
even like a show like House of the Dragon. To me, obviously, I've talked about how really good House of the Dragon is, but like how much of the success, and I'm not saying all the success, but how much of the success, the potency, is off the back of Game of Thrones.
Fuck yeah!
Yes.
Like, obviously, naturally, it's a successor to it, but like.
No, what you're saying.
You know what
fair.
I mean? Like, if this was a brand new show, no backing, no nothing,
it would do good, but not as good.
It's different. It's different now. These big films or shows that are adapted from like really talked about books as opposed to it was then.
Yeah.
Like the Lord of the Rings, like all those other sort of things. Like
my nigga,
that era, that early 2000s to like 2010-ish, those big books that were adapted, it's different.
Lord of the Rings wouldn't hit like it hit.
If
it was dropped now, no.
It's completely different. Completely different.
No.
And like that, it just to tie it back into the anime misconceptions, that I think is what you're saying. I think was way more prevalent when like we were younger watching anime, because nobody knew. There was no real exposure to anime, unless it was like Dragon Ball. That's like Dragon Ball was the go-to, but
until Goku went Super Saiyan.
Yeah, but that was because of how mainstream it had became. But like that perception of anime, you are like weird or a nerd, this, that, and the third. That was way more prevalent.
You want to know why, bro?
Completely different now.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
This is not a shot at nobody, but it's because you little niggas is running around with Naruto headbands in between periods with y'all hands behind y'all back. Y'all gotta stop doing that shit, man. Y'all making us look bad, bro. Like, enjoy your life. I got anime tattoos. Like, I'm fine with being a nerd and being a geek. Like, this is why we started this pod. We're all nerds. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with being a nerd. There is something wrong, though, with you full sprinting to another class, possibly hitting a girl's books out of her hand. Now she's going to think niggas that run around with handguns are fucking weird. You're weird.
Yeah, it's different. It's different now. Like, even just the thought that I just had, too, is like Meg Thee Stallion. She talks about anime, how she loves anime, all this stuff.
I'm getting started.
I'm just saying, no artist, like back when, specifically when Lupe Fiasco was rapping, right? Early 2000s. He has a song. In the song, the song Dumb It Down, where in the chorus, he's literally being made fun of because he's talking about robots and skateboards and like shit like that. Like, nigga, you weird. Like, that's weird. Like, it's not looked at the same. It's completely different.
The shit that was, like, the main shit that was cool and shit back then was more of, like, manly shit, like mafia shit.
Yeah.
Or, like, period pieces like 300 and shit like that. Not Lord of the Rings or, like, where you dealing with wizards and with magical fucking whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different now.
And I think now TikTok is... I see so many edits of all these different, like, I just saw a Troy edit the other day, literally on TikTok, and it's cool because, like, I, as a nigga who really appreciates that film for what it is, that's one of the greatest films of all time. That's, you want to talk about an epic for what that was and how they made it look.
They don't make epics like that anymore.
No, bro.
No.
They don't make epics like that.
How that movie looks, and that shit came out in 2004? Nigga, if that shit came out today, produced by somebody, say Christopher Nolan, just because he's doing the Odyssey, so that's the first thing that came to my mind. Do you know how crazy that movie would look now?
Yeah.
They were able to make that look like that back then. Like, I've seen a Troy edit. 90% of that fucking comment section has never seen that movie. And they're all asking, what movie is this? And I'm like, That's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
And I know it's a
They don't
time thing,
make
but
them
there's an
epics.
entire generation of kids that are never gonna watch that movie.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it's like goes back to what you were saying perfectly. It's just consumed different.
Yeah.
You couldn't make that movie today with it being as long as it is, as drawn out as it is, and it's all purposeful. It's not. I'm not saying that it's unnecessary filler. All purposeful. Same thing with the Gladiator. Like you couldn't make those types of films today. That's why I appreciate like Scorsese or Quentin Tarantino, guys who still do that, because they know how to still grip you in that world, in that space.
Yeah.
Or Villanueva is somebody who's been doing it recently too with all of his big sci-fi movies like Blade Runner 2049 and shit like that. Like there's still a space for that, but it's very niche now.
I was about to say
back then, them big movies, that's what going to the movies was about.
I was about to say going to the movies with a blanket, something like that.
That's what it was.
This new movie's coming out. We about to go sit and watch this movie.
Yeah, these big scale movies. That's a staple of that time. Can't make those movies today.
And it was back to back. Go. It was back to back. They had heat. Like that was normal. That was regular.
Yes.
Heat.
That was the purpose of movies. You were dropping a long
all in that time.
So what I was gonna say was, it's how we watch movies now. We want to, and I say it all the time because he still hasn't watched the Batman. The goal for that niche that you're talking about, those people that really do still appreciate film for what it is and want to be involved in something, because it's more than watching a fucking story play out on screen.
Yeah.
If the movie is what it's supposed to be, you forget you're in a room with other people sitting shoulder to shoulder with you. Nigga, you're there. You're damn near walking around with the camera. Like,
I'm going home right now. Putting on. I'm throwing on one of these ones you were talking about,
bro. It's literally that specific niche. It's not a lot of people like that. But I think it's funny because we are that. So like, talking to the group that I be gaming with. Shout out Mint Squad. The group that I be gaming with, they don't. Not all of them have that mindset of, like, they've told me straight up, like, 3 hours is way too long for a movie. And I'm like, that's the difference between somebody like that versus somebody like us. We see 3 hours.
I know it's gonna be
locked.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be.
I'm locked.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be.
Nigga, when they dropped the runtime for Captain America: Brave New World, I said this shit is barely 2 hours. Nigga.
Yeah, or
I'm trying to go get lost in the sauce, nigga.
We was just talking about the Fantastic Four movie. It's only an hour and 40 minutes.
That shit's fucking crazy.
It's only an hour
bro.
and 40 minutes.
I said there's no way. Fantastic Four with Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn, and Vanessa Kirby, and I only got an hour and 40 minutes.
Nigga, they showed us. I believe it was Galactus, but they showed us a Celestial in that trailer. I need something longer than 2 hours.
I'm trying to sit in there for 240 minutes.
Yeah. It's the short attention span, man. They got to play to their audience.
I'm telling you, bro,
they have to gear it towards
crazy
their targeted audiences.
I don't want to like blame people, but it is the audience that's killing film. But that's a whole nother conversation. You go back to, some of it was warranted, but the amount of needless hate that movies get now, and like, I'm specifically going to talk about Marvel. The amount of needless hate. Eternals was a great movie. Eternals was a good movie.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to say great, that shit was good.
That shit was good. That shit was good.
And my problem with the hate watching from Eternals and what they did, what the overall consumer base did to Eternals, is now, me and him was talking about it. Now we're in a situation where in the MCU, we're dealing with multi-dimensional fucking antagonists. Galactus is in the trailer of Fantastic Four. Fucking Doom, and if you know how Doom moves, Doom is a whole nother nigga. Yeah. Like, Thanos is about to be looked at as a little dog now in the MCU and where we're going. We fucking need cosmic energy beings that can blow some shit up. We need Icarus, who's based off of the fallen angel. We need a Superman type nigga. We don't have him no more because y'all bitched about the movie. That wasn't bad. I don't understand. So now when the movie drops, when these new Avengers movies start coming out, and Sam Wilson with no super soldier serum is fighting a nigga from outer space that can mess with reality, you know what's going to happen? The audience is going to get mad. This nigga don't even got no super soldier serum. Not like it would matter. Why the fuck is he able to fight with this person? They were complaining about that in Endgame. How the Black Order was weaker. And like Natasha Romanoff was able to fuck with people from the Dark Order, Black Order, whatever their name is. Yeah. What do you think is about to happen now?
Yeah.
The X-Men and all these niggas, bro, Omega level mutants, bro, we needed Icarus in these niggas. But now we're not going to have them. But I can't wait until y'all are mad that, what's her name? Yelena, Natasha's sister?
Yeah.
What's the actor's name?
Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh's character.
Yeah.
I can't wait till people start complaining about her boxing somebody. This is what the fuck y'all get.
I mean, even in the Thunderbolts coming up, which looks very good. I mean,
They're the villain century. The niggas making people disappear. They can't fight that nigga.
yeah, what? It's a bunch of regular niggas. Like
James Buchanan Barnes is not boxing that nigga, man. What are we talking about?
It's just a regular.
No, this nigga's putting his hand up and turning people into shadows. What the fuck is
Saw that
Bucky supposed to do to that? And then the way they're hyping him up in the trailer, they said he's as strong as all the Avengers rolled into one. So Yelena is supposed to box this nigga?
I don't know, bro.
The Red Soldier?
The Red Guardian.
The Red Guardian? Fucking fake Captain America?
My
That
nigga
the
Hop.
U.S. agent?
My nigga Hop.
My nigga Hopper?
It is. Like I said, you said it perfectly. The way stuff is consumed today it does
that was
affect how
probably
people.
the best point.
It does affect how people make movies and shows now.
It sucks, bro.
It is very interesting, but for that, like I said, it's more niche now for movies to have so much of a world built and for you to really consume it.
Yeah,
like it makes, at least for me, it makes me appreciate those movies even more.
Mm-hmm.
Like what you talked about, like being immersed in something. When me and Zay went first saw Dune the first time, we both at the end of the movie, I was like
You gotta exhale.
we had to come out of it because it was just like it grabs you and it just brings you into this world and you just in it.
Went to the theater 3 times. Twice by myself. I've
I
never
was
been to the theater
wondering,
by myself.
I was wondering why. Y'all was raving about this. I said, why did
Yeah.
it take me so long to watch this movie?
The funniest
I don't
shit
know.
ever.
And
I wish I could have saw it in theaters.
I said that too. I wish I
it's-
saw the first one in theaters with them.
It's an experience too, and I feel like that experience for a lot of people, they
won't get it.
they just throw it away now. Like especially, obviously, COVID did what it did and affected people going to the movies. But like that's why I got a movie club pass now, because that is
Me and
just
that
it's such a big thing.
Yeah.
And to me, you can always watch movies at home, and it's always a little
the
more
same.
comfortable, but it's different.
Them loud ass speakers
It's
that are
different.
taking up the whole wall.
Like Sinners that come out next week.
We're
That's
there.
something I
We're-
have to
we're there
experience.
day one.
You just you have to. Experience
You can't watch that
it
on
in
the couch,
theater.
bro. I
No,
don't
you
care.
have to experience it in theater. I
The-
mean, even when we go and watch, like the anime premieres, like when we would watch the Demon Slayer shit, or like what I'm saying, the JJK movie, like you have to experience that in theater. The first time we saw Infinity War in theater. The shit
Now,
that
I
happened
was
in
about
that
to say- I
theater
was about
was
to say,
like
now granted that's a little different because it's one of those chain movies, so it's different. But brother,
but even still though, it's
we were to be able to say that we were a part of one of those theaters that you see on YouTube for the theater reactions and like people yelling.
Everybody
we were
yelling
there
and
because it was the
screaming
weekend it
and-
came out, and we were in LA at the time.
Yeah.
So of course it's gonna be niggas there, bro. When everything was going on, when Cap in the train station, when they show him for the first time in the 2 movies, everybody's fucking lit. When Thor comes back from outer space to Wakanda, and then when everybody starts dying, and like you just hit, bro. I remember when that nigga Black Panther died, some nigga stood up behind us, said he just got a fucking movie. How is he dead? And then everybody's tear jerk reaction to Tom Holland dying.
Oh yeah.
Like, bro, that shit's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get that at home on the couch.
Yeah.
You're not.
I could walk into a movie theater, sit next to perfect strangers, walk out, and we all be
Y'all
talking, y'all all talking like.
How many times does that happen to us? Where we walking out of the theater, walking down, talking about it, and somebody's like, "Yeah, this, that, and the third," and we just start talking to these random people.
That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it used to be.
Again, though, what did I say as a joke earlier? That was back when niggas loved each other more, bro. Like people don't fuck with each other like that no more.
Yeah.
And I think too, it's just easier to hate on stuff, to be negative about
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Everybody wants to scrutinize everything.
Yeah, like,
but it's gonna be funny when that eventually kills everything.
I see a lot of people, like streamers and stuff, talk about video games and like how people just want video games to just not be good. Like they just, you know what I'm saying? Or they want, like, it's very muted. Like anytime there's an up and coming game, new game, everybody's quick to hate on it.
How much hate did Rivals get when it first dropped? And niggas was saying Rivals is gonna be dead in 6 months.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Rivals is about to be the #1 game for at least the next 3 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What?
So, yeah, you need to get on.
I need to get on that out.
Yeah, you need to get on.
It's the best game out. I haven't played a game like that made me feel like that in a while. That made me want to only play that
But it's
game.
it's weird that I guess the time we live in that's just how it is.
Yeah.
People are just so quick to, if it's something different or if it's something that's not the same. Like when Joker 2 came out, people instantly, because it's more of a musical aspect, but the musical portion makes sense as to why it's a lot of singing. It's like people instantly hated it and all this different stuff. But if you watch it yourself, digest what's happening, see what's going on. Why is this singing happening? What's happening in these singing? What's happening in these singing scenes? Because those are important. How it all ties together, it shows you, and you have a different appreciation for it. And even if after all that you like, I'm still not fucking with it, cool. But at least do that. Don't tell me you ain't like, because it's a musical. Okay, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's baseless.
Yeah, like you really got to experience it for yourself and really sit with it before you can really pass judgment on it.
The last thing I'll say about that, because there's one more anime question I wanted to ask before the bigger movie question that I have for both of y'all, since y'all both seen it.
The time is what? How much time?
Yeah, how much time is running?
I'm just saying how much is recorded.
Hour 20.
Oh, that's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 2 more.
What time is it?
3:38. Fucking. I won't. Since we were just talking about like getting enveloped and like immersed in the shits. The 2 things that stick out to me is since we were talking about Dune, when this nigga James, when I was watching it with him, I say this shit all the time, bro. When we're sitting there watching it, it was quiet because we obviously sitting there talking, but then we started the movie, everybody locked in, it's quiet, whatever. And he's just glued to the TV because you remember how his old apartment was set up. He sat on the edge when it was kind of just like this.
Yeah.
And everything is going how it's going. The score, obviously, the minute Dune starts, the score takes you in.
Yeah.
And so you're enveloped in the sound and everything. When Jessica, when that nigga asks, what's that nigga's name? Was it Dr. Yue? Is his name?
Mm-hmm.
When he asked Dr. Yue what's going on and he starts speaking in Mandarin, James didn't turn around, but I could see his face like, oh, okay, this shit cool. And Paul can understand him.
Yeah.
And then he turns and he was like, okay, my lady, he's all good. And then she signs, don't speak about this. James turned around and was like, nigga, what? They're signing in this hole? I just looked at this nigga like, yeah, bro. Yeah. Get ready to lock the fuck in. Yeah, man. Get ready to lock in. And what I was going to say for us, bro, the Batman. Dune Part 2 got ruined because of the people we sat next to.
We got to watch that.
Okay.
I would say let's watch it together.
Yeah, we gotta watch that. All right. It's one of them ones.
The Batman. Had we seen Dune Part 2, either had I seen Dune Part 1 with y'all, with you and Zabe initially, or had we seen Dune Part 2 and been able to enjoy it in the beginning if we didn't have those niggas next to us. Yeah. Maybe I could say this about them, but other than that, I have not been immersed like I was to start off a film like the Batman. The Batman starts off and you completely forget you're in a theater. You genuinely think you're in Gotham. It's the wildest shit ever, bro. Yeah. I'm like, and I remember it was towards the end of the intro because the intro was out. I'm not gonna say, but
the opening sequence is two separate scenes.
Yeah. Okay.
One scene that introduces you to whatever's going on. The next scene that introduces you to whatever's going on.
Right. And so I want to say something about
that. But it's like 10 minutes though. Like the whole opening sequence is like 10 minutes.
When it ends and he says what he says. Yeah. Me, him, and Zabe all looked at each other like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. It's the wildest, most captivating shit, bro. It really is.
Yeah. It's one of them ones.
All right.
It's just upsetting, bro, because
films
like that are just gonna become more and more rare.
We saw that movie 3 times in theaters?
3 times.
3 times in theaters. I think I've watched it another 2 or 3 myself.
I've seen it twice since.
God damn.
Yeah,
It's
really good.
Whenever I just want to
really good.
lose myself in a movie, or just like if I'm just like not necessarily having a bad day or just something like that, I just want to lose myself and I just want to just immerse somewhere else. I'll turn on a movie like that, like The Batman, or I haven't watched Dune since the 3rd time I've seen it in theaters because I'm chilling off of it right now.
Okay.
Because I want to be the next time I watch it, I'm gonna watch both back to back, so I'm kind of just chilling. But like I'll turn on a movie like that. I'll turn on a movie like Tombstone. I'll turn on a movie like Troy. I'll turn on a movie like Heat, something like that. Just a real film. Now, obviously, movies don't have to be that fucking long, but it's just something about you being able to go somewhere else for 3 hours. And for me, I'm so mad it took me as long as it did to watch it. The first time I watched Interstellar, nigga.
Oh my God.
Brother. I was in the shower. I got in the shower last night and I'm scrolling on Twitter as I turn on the water or whatever. And I was about to turn music on and put my phone down. And as I'm scrolling, the last video I saw on Twitter, it was him talking to Murph at the end. And then obviously the score is playing throughout the entire movie. I stopped what I was doing. I totally forgot I was sitting there in the shower. And it was just that whole 3-minute scene. And bro, it like, obviously you don't have to cry to be emotionally intelligent or even teared up or whatever. Very few movies have made me tear up. But that when they do, that's how you know it's me.
Yeah.
Multiple times throughout that movie, if you're emotionally intelligent, you're gonna tear jerk for sure. And when she says, or when like he's having a little conversation with her, he's like, "I was your ghost," and this, that, and the third, and she was like, "No one believed me that you were gonna come back," and he was like, "Why? What made you so confident?" She said, "Cause my dad promised me."
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, you just hear the dune, 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 dune. That shit's fucking, that's peak.
Man.
But how many niggas won't watch that movie again? I won't say who in Men Squad, but they were like, bro, I'm not watching a 3-hour movie. Fucking sucks to suck then, bro.
Nah, it's again.
That's
it's
crazy.
one of the ones, too.
That's one of Noah's favorite movies.
That's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen.
It's fantastic.
So good.
I'm so mad it took me forever to watch it. We'll move on so we can get this shit over with.
Okay.
Last
chatting for real.
Right, this is the last anime question. This was more so because I put Kristen on to JJK, and she actually, and I wanted to tell y'all this, the way I had her watch it, just talking to mom about Yellowstone and shit like that, and the fact that there's different parts. I always told myself, if I could watch JJK now, where it is, for the first time, I would watch it in chronological order. So I had Kristen watch
What you mean? Like the movie first?
The first 7 episodes of season 2.
And then the first
And
season.
then the movie.
Okay,
And then season
okay.
So Gojo's backstory.
Yeah.
The movie, and then season 1. I had Kristen watch it like that. She's in love with the show. Which I think
that is an interesting way to watch it.
which I think would have happened anyway.
Yeah,
because
of
it's
course.
fucking
Of course.
JJK.
Yeah.
But having her watch it like that, and it clicked for me when as I felt like a proud dad damn near, like watching it happen, because we watch it on Discord, so I can watch it with her.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there watching it with her, and she's in season 1 now. And so, in the first couple episodes of season 1, it's only Yuji Nobara and Megumi.
Yeah.
You don't see nobody else.
Yeah.
In that episode where the third years now, at that point, come in and Maki and them come in, her face lights up. Because to her, that's the OG cast.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, these niggas is back. I'm like that right there, that's hella cool.
Yeah.
And and so even Nanami, like, she's seeing the older teachers. The first thing you watch, if you watch it in chronological order, is Gojo's backstory. So Nanami and Mei, they're all teenagers. They're all young.
when they're younger.
She's like, wait, they're all teachers now? I'm like, see, this is cool. Watching it like this.
Yeah.
And then watching it this way, she has a different take on Gojo than anybody else that's watching it regularly.
Yeah.
Because you see him younger at first, but that's the beauty about JJK and the fact that it does have 3 main characters. Obviously, Yuji is the MC. I'm not saying Gojo and Yuta are the MCs, even though Yuta was the first one, but that's a whole nother subject. The fact that you get to watch it like that and you see the first 2 MCs before you see the main character of the shit, her enjoying it like that, I'm like, this is cool. I definitely confirmed it for myself that I would have watched it that way. But that was a side note. My main thing, and this is a question for you. This was the anime question. This is more for y'all because I've read the manga. How dire of a situation is it for Yuji to get powers? You think going into season 3, coming off of everything that we've seen?
Yesterday.
I was about to say, me and him.
Yeah. Coming off of everything that we've seen, how dire of a situation? Because you got to understand, is he outclassed? Sure, but was he able to hold his own with a nigga who was like that? Yes.
We've talked about this before. I know for a fact me and you have talked about this, and I may have mentioned it, but he just needs them. Like he just does. His physical ability crazy, his IQ high,
Very.
and the fact that he can hit black flashes. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, when he was fighting against Mahito, he pulled it against with just straight willpower. I don't think he'll be able to do that every time. Not every fight. And, most of that was probably attributed because he was just in the zone, which I don't think he could be in that every time.
When you hit a black flash, you get in the zone.
I know, but that's
especially if you hit multiple, then you're really locked.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if that's gonna happen every single time. And truthfully, you can say that fight was really extended because Toto was there with him.
Oh, for sure. He was gonna kill him in the hallway.
Yeah. If that wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
again, and Yuji really had no business fighting. Like, it's a weird situation because from a power standpoint, Yuji has no business fighting that nigga, Mahito, at all. Yeah. It's simply because he's the only one outside of Navara who can damage him.
Yeah, and that was more of a story, I guess.
More
plot
point.
But if we double back to when he fought in the bathroom,
Choso.
That fight, to me, that
sums up why he needs power.
100%, because you were able to deal with his piercing blood power, right? You took him in an element that took him out of his power ability. Couldn't use power, couldn't get the blood right because of the water, all this stuff. And the narrator even said Choso couldn't understand what was happening to him, and so he was just fighting off pure instinct because he had never been in this situation before.
Yep.
Wasn't a close range fighter, didn't know what he was doing, and was just shocked at the fact that his powers wasn't even working because it never happened to him before. And Yuji, I don't know about y'all, but when they went in there, I thought he was about to work this nigga.
Nigga, he said, I need my fair one in the bathroom.
He landed 3 hits. And one of them was planned. Choso knew he was going to hit there.
So that one don't count.
No,
that's
what I'm
really
saying.
blocked it for real.
So you
ain't no for real. You need to block
you have the upper hand fighting wise. You take away his power. He is discombobulated. You comfortable.
So now you technically common ground. Should be on common
ground.
If
fuck a common ground.
You should be.
You should be on a different level.
He literally said, "You're on my turf now,"
and it didn't matter.
No, he folded.
Didn't matter.
Nigga, literally, he chopped that nigga's shoulder.
He needs a power. He just needs it. Like it's just. I'm not saying that.
So would you take Megami over him right now?
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Yes. 100%.
Damn. Really?
100%. I think Megami's IQ is better than his, and I think his experience with using his powers and his abilities, I think is just a little bit different.
So
I think that puts him on a different level than.
So if you put Megami in that situation with Choso, you think he could have won?
Yes.
Really?
100%.
I don't know about that.
100%.
I feel like Choso's hitting a little too hard for that nigga.
If Megami was able to deal with the other blood user the way that he was,
Kamo
at that strength level,
no,
at that strength level,
okay,
Megami's at a higher strength level now. If he would have been able to deal with him then, him now, I think he would have been fine.
bro.
If they would have,
Choso's on a different level.
If him and Choso would have
he
met
was
head
making,
up,
like blood fucking saucers.
if him and Choso would have met straight up, Megami would have been fine.
He was using it to amp himself. The other nigga was doping, so he cheated to do the shit Choso could do ability wise.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. Yeah. And you talking about a nigga who, like you said, instinctively, powers gone, was able to box with the best hand-to-hand combat fighter that the school has and win.
Who?
Choso. He fought Yuji.
Oh, yeah.
If he get up on Megami, that's his ass.
But he wouldn't. That's the thing. He's not a close combat fighter.
But he can also fight him long range. That's what I'm saying.
But so can Megami.
He piercing that's blood. More his... Clean through Nue, bro.
Yeah, but see that. But what I'm saying is, and this is where I go to the IQ. Yuji didn't understand what that piercing shit was. He just knew that he had to move. Megami knows what that is.
He does have.
He knows how to. He knows how to deal with that. He knows the everything that happens with it.
He does
which is why I brought that one into comparison, because I don't think the kid from the school was on the same level as Choso, but the situation is similar, if not the same. You have the same exact people who use the same exact power. One is stronger, but the same. It all aligns.
Yeah.
Megami would have been way more prepared than Yuji was. Way more effective than Yuji, in my opinion. 100%.
Yeah.
In the exact same situation, I don't know. In the bathroom, hand to hand, no.
In the bathroom, hand to hand, I think it's a different story.
That's different.
Unless he pulls that fucking sword out from the ground.
That is true.
That special grade black sword.
That is true, because he can fight close combat too.
Or did that hoe break when they were fighting Hanami?
No, it didn't break.
If he pulled that hoe out, or Playful Cloud, he might be able to box with that.
Yeah, hand to hand, I think he can hold his own. Obviously, it is different, but no, I'm talking. If both of them met straight up, like he wouldn't have to have resulted to that in order to beat him. In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
But Yuji, he needs some powers. I don't know what it's gonna be.
That's the consensus.
Yeah, he needs some powers.
Can Yuji beat any of the villains that were in Shibuya 1-on-1?
Who?
No help.
Who?
Any of the villains that were in Shibuya. So I'll go down the list. Dagon.
No.
Hell no. Jogo's a fuck no. We obviously know Mahito's enough.
Man, he don't got enough.
No.
Hanami.
No.
Nah, he not
by himself.
Those are all special grades.
Man. Him and Toto didn't beat them together.
Yeah,
right. That's the best chance he had.
He was about to pop that domain.
He was about to open. Right. He was about to open up some shit on them.
Ass.
Yeah. No.
Then Gojo broke the barrier. Then all them niggas was like, time to go.
No. He probably could have fucked up the lucky nigga with the sword.
Come on,
bro. He would have fucked him up.
Probably.
Bro, I didn't even have that nigga on my radar, bro. I didn't even have that nigga on my radar.
He lucky, bro.
What about? Okay. No powers. What about Toji?
No. What?
I'm wilding. I just threw that out there just to throw it out there.
Toji beat Dagon himself.
This nigga was putting down special grades just for fucking fun.
No.
Yeah, that nigga's a problem.
Yeah, he just need him. Like I said, unless it follows a sort of path where the main character is not the strongest in the show, then sure, he don't necessarily need him at that point, right? He can always be effective in his sense.
Yep. Well, to play devil's advocate, because obviously I won't tell y'all what happens, but to play devil's advocate, the other main character is back now, and that nigga's a special grade.
He could be a supporting role.
He could. If that's how they do it, he don't need to be the strongest in the show, or overpowered.
I gotta see how YouTube moving when he come back, man. I gotta see how this thing.
I think he about to be moving on Demon Time.
No comment.
that's what I need to see.
I have no comment for you niggas.
Know it.
But y'all that know.
They letting him kill at will. They gave that nigga free reign. He hunting.
Well, I mean, off just with how they were talking about him all throughout season 2 alone, like that nigga not Ghetto called that nigga. He said that boy, even though everybody's trying to make him your, what do you say, your like your backup or whatever, like talking about Yuta, he was like, I'm not afraid of that nigga. And then Gojo was like, "You forgot who killed that body initially?
Yeah.
Him." So what are you talking about?
Yeah, he finna be on a different type of time.
Watching the movie again, just to talk about what you're talking about, watching the movie again, realizing how crazy of a feat it is for Yuta to be 6 months into training and beat one of the 4 special grades on the planet is kind of fucking absurd.
I haven't seen it since.
That shit's absurd.
Since we went and initially saw it.
He beat that nigga fair one-on-one.
Yeah, it was just them.
That's
It was just them.
crazy.
6 months, when you put it into perspective like that,
Six months
wild.
in,
That is wild.
that's nuts, bro. Yeah. And your biggest thing was, is he still a special grade without Rika?
Yeah.
Is he still a special grade? And then they confirmed, which we didn't know until they showed him at the end, that he was still a special grade. Then this nigga still has Rika. But here's the thing, though. That shit don't matter when you're looking at it from the movie's perspective. He had no training. And he was doing shit like I said, just rewatching it, the nigga pulled out the fucking Inumaki's ability to curse speech.
Yeah.
Through a megaphone. What?
Yeah.
Now, granted, I do think, I don't know how y'all feel about this, I do think had Geto had all of his curses there, and they weren't split, fuck it differently. He walks that nigga low-key.
Yeah.
Geto would have walked him if he had everything. But still, he did beat him himself one-on-one. Yeah. Fresh, too, because he didn't fight nobody. You could say he fought Panda in them, but he...
They got off screen.
Maki got off screen. He actually fought Panda. It was quick, but he fought. Alright, last question, man. Do you think, and y'all can tell me if I'm tripping, just because of how much I really do like these movies, and I have them as any part 1 and part 2 that are like Dune 1 and part 2, I consider them the same movie. So to me, that's my favorite movie of all time.
What you talking about?
The questioner.
Dunes? You see them as one movie?
I see them as one.
Okay.
But that's
I mean, it technically is. It's 2 movies, but they're both a part of the same story.
Yeah.
Because it covers the first book.
But like, there's other like Infinity War and Endgame. I look at that as one movie, me personally. But that's
I was about to say I look at those 2, but yeah, I can say
conversation for a different day. My point is, since we were just sitting there talking about if Denis will end up, he said it was questionable and if he was going to do Dune Messiah. Now he is doing it. But then he said he's not going to do any more than 3. You were saying, from reading the books, the way this shit looks, he needs to do all of them.
I think so.
My question to y'all is, does Dune have the potential to take over Harry Potter?
As the greatest sci-fi
movie series of all time. Can Dune overtake it?
Overtake is kind of...
Because if they did all the movies, it would be like 5-6 movies.
So there's 6 books total. The first book covered 2 movies.
Dune Messiah is going to be a 3rd.
Dune Messiah will probably be its own movie because it's shorter.
Yeah.
But the rest of the books are similar length, not as long, similar length to the first one.
Children of Dune. So let's just say they do Children of Dune and it's 2 more movies. That's 5 movies. Off of what I've seen, off of watching Harry Potter yearly, I think, that might piss a lot of people off because like of the recency bias wave.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be a take that spans across any movie conversation we have on the pod. We've talked about this in terms of the Star Wars shit. It's not fair to them, but the reality is, motherfuckers are better actors now than what they were back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that plays a big ass part in it. Off of pure acting alone, Dune is shutting a lot of shit down sci-fi wise, especially action sci-fi wise. I just think with the amount of people they talking about, Robert Pattinson is going to be the villain in Messiah. You got people like Javier Bardem as side characters. Like,
I think it definitely has the potential too. But back to the point we made when we first started talking today, it's like, is it gonna take with the targeted audience? Is the main question.
And with Dune, that shit is not guaranteed. Because
as we've seen,
I think Dune is one of those ones that is. I think it is appreciated in that sense as the big sci-fi that it is. If he were to do Dune Messiah as a third film, Children of Dune in 2 more films, and that be it, like it just ends on Children of Dune, which I'm in the middle of reading that, so I don't know how it ends, but yeah, I think it can for sure be looked at in the same boat, because it's just like I said, it's the world of Harry Potter. While Harry Potter is good and it's obviously great in the books, it's nowhere near on a scale of like a Star Wars or a Lord of the Rings even. Yeah. Like the scale of those movies is different. Yeah. It's way bigger. The world is way bigger. Whereas with Harry Potter, it's so much focused on Hogwarts and like so much focused on just this particular section of the Wizarding world. That's why I think Fantastic Beasts is such a great series, because it opens it more. Harry Potter is very narrow in terms of the world building, whereas Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, movies like that, even if you want to go like Pirates of the Caribbean, the world is so big. And so with Dune, what it has going for it, how epic it is in size and proportion, and then what you were saying about the acting, the scenes, the visuals, it has so much more going for it than a Harry Potter does, that I think if you put in 2-3 more movies on that large of a scale, with that potency of acting, that potency of storytelling,
Dune Part 2 was one of the best movies in the last decade.
I was gonna say the way that they came through with the first 2. You talk about giving me 5 movies.
That's literally what I was gonna say. Dune Part 2, you could argue, is the best movie of the last decade. Whether you want to say it is or not, it's in the fucking conversation. Yeah. That being the case, niggas say Dune Messiah is the peak of the series. Yeah. And you got what I can't think of her name. Anna Taylor-Joy. I don't know why. She is
Joy Taylor, one of the two.
She's gonna be in the next one. Yeah. She is gonna be rejoined by Florence Pugh, Zendaya, Tom, Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin. I forgot the actress's name that plays Jessica, but like all these returning people.
Rebecca Ferguson.
And you got a nigga who hit the craziest fucking 360 or 180 ever, and I've ever seen in an acting career, going from Twilight to the amount of shit he's been in. Robert Pattinson. And going from known as Edward to this nigga might go down as one of the best actors ever, the way he moving.
Yeah, he's on a run.
He's on a and like you said, he hates the fact that people ruin the word generational, but he is on a generational run. Yes. It's unfair when you try to put it up when the shit ends, no matter how many movies they do. Yeah. You try to stack up other series compared to this, nigga. The first movie, a nigga who's not even in the series anymore, Oscar Isaac. Yeah. Come on, bro. And his role is Duke Leto.
I think it's definitely gonna be when it's all said and done. Even if it ends after Dune Messiah, let's say it just ends after that. Mm-hmm. That trilogy of films,
it's gonna be hard to fuck with.
It's gonna be in a pantheon of sci-fi movies. It's going to be.
Yeah, if it ends on the trilogy, you got a real conversation for greatest trilogy ever.
Yeah, it's going, especially like I said with the shit that happens in Dune Messiah. That on a screen in a 2-hour 45, 3-hour movie. Mm-hmm.
I will tell you, I didn't watch the video, honest to God, but I seen a video on YouTube a couple months after we watched Part 2. And it was the title of the YouTube video was Dune Messiah. How will Denis adapt the big moments? Yeah, and it kind of goes into what he was telling us about how he don't know how he wants this. He's curious about how a lot of shit of that is gonna play on screen.
Yeah, and what they're gonna put.
Literally, that video was about it was like a 12-minute video saying the same thing that you said. I didn't watch it though because I didn't want to be spoiled on what the fuck happens.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, even the first book, which covers the first 2 movies. Obviously all the big plot points and everything is hit, but like there's still moments from the book, just certain scenes that aren't in the movie that kind of builds the world out just a little bit. Yeah, and kind of shows different things. Like there's a scene in the book, and this is no spoilers or anything like that. There's a scene in the book where when they first get to Arrakis, there's a interaction between Hawat, the Mentat, and Rebecca Ferguson, the mom, and they're interacting in a scene, and they're in a what is it called, like a planetarium type of thing, something like that. Yeah, but it has like water and plants, and like it just gives you a different look at maybe what Dune was or what it could be, and like the interaction they're having. You feel the tension in that scene. Like that's something that, you know, they could have very easily added to the movie and it would have, you know, had its place, but like they didn't. So it's like with Dune Messiah, there's certain moments like that too, certain interactions, conversations that I'm curious of how they'll put it in and how it'll play out.
That's hard to do. It's so many big moments in books, though.
Oh,
That's the difficult part.
Because I mean, even that, like that whole interaction was one chapter from what I've read, and it was probably like 15 minutes, but it played into the story so well because it showed you more of Jessica's character, more of Howard's character, and more of just the world that they were entering, knowing that they were going into, you know, this trap, knowing that they were going into these things, and how it played on each other, and like certain things that they found. It's like real cool.
It's so funny too watching that movie. I was watching somebody react to it when it had first came out, or when part 2 had first came out. I was watching somebody react to the first one before they went and saw the second one in theaters, and it was this dude and his wife reacting to it, and I could tell that these niggas, I had to subscribe to their YouTube channel off of this alone because I could tell he was a real film watcher. He noticed what a lot of people don't notice in the first one, where without them even saying anything, just by off the tension and off of what the fuck is going on throughout the specific scene, the scene where they're handing them control of Arrakis.
Yep.
The husband watching the shit, he was like, why does it feel like we're getting fucked over right now? And I was like, there's no way this nigga just caught on to that. I said, oh, he one of the ones. This is a real movie watcher, for real. He was like, why does it feel like, what is this tension? Why does it feel like we're getting cooked? Yeah. And then you find out later on, because they got cooked, literally.
Yep.
That shit, like, but how many people are going to watch that scene and get halfway into the movie and look over to their partner and be like, I don't understand what's going on. Yeah.
And
nigga, fucking lock in.
That's one of the moments that I think is great about the film, because in the book, it shows them having a conversation of things to happen and how they're going to go about it, right? So if that was laid out in the film, it would have made it more easier to sort of understand. It would have took away your intuition on how things play out. But the fact that wasn't included, there wasn't these conversations with the Baron and all this stuff, and it kind of just played out the way that it did, and you really had no backstory, right? Yeah. You really had no backstory. Yeah. You didn't understand why this planet was ran by the Harkonnens for so long until it wasn't. You had no backstory on none of that. Yeah. And they were just thrown into that. And you're kind of like, okay, well, we're here. And then everything plays out, and then you was like, oh, like now you see why everything happens. It's different in a book because it lays it out more plainly. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's the beauty of it. That's what we were talking about in the beginning. Just niggas just don't know how to consume film. Yeah. Or just shit in general, bro. Like, it's the similar conversation that we had to where we were talking about Robert Baratheon. Like, if you watch the first season of Game of Thrones and you come out saying that you, like, his character was pointless, or like he was just like a waste of space, or nigga was arguably the most important character in the first season besides Ned. Yeah. Like his story and like everything that happens in Game of Thrones, a lot of it's possible because of that nigga and shit he did. And then you dealing with a nigga living in the fucking aftermath, pointless aftermath in his mind. But yeah, that shit crazy, man. I don't got nothing else.
That's a wrap.
We will catch y'all next week, man. Send in requests. Get in the comments down below. Type anything that you would like us to talk about.
Yep, some topics for sure.
Topics, movies, things that you think we haven't seen. If you want us to talk about specific things.
We probably have. We probably have seen
it. But
or something to go watch.
Or something to go watch. Yeah. And we will
put us on.
Back.
Put us on for sure.
And we will come back and have a discussion about it. Patreon members, it'll be a little bit more catered to y'all. We'll definitely lock in on you guys' request because y'all are Patreon members. Shout out to the patrons. Other than that, though, man, we gonna get up out of here, bro. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us. That shit was cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
smooth.
2
I'm
hours.
so happy
was
that
nice.
this shit was able to record now. Nigga. I was literally watching it the whole time. No lag, no nothing. When y'all were downstairs,